It's Golden State versus Cleveland. Again, LeBron James versus Stephen Curry. Or, more accurately, LeBron James versus Stephen Curry and Kevin Durant on Klay Thompson and Draymond Green. Which is why when Helin and Feldman start breaking down the 2018 NBA Finals, there's a lot of talk about what needs to go perfectly for Cleveland. They need Kevin Love back, and ideally Andre Iguodala to miss some time. They need to hit their threes. The role players have to step up. Their defense needs not to regress against a much better offense. The Cavaliers have no margin for error, and they break down why. Also, the first 10 minutes of the podcast is a discussion of the hot water Sixers GM Brian Colangelo finds himself in after a story pointing to a lot of circumstantial evidence that he was running a series of secondary burner Twitter accounts that were critical of Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons, Markelle Fultz, Masai Ujiri, others. While it's led to a lot of jokes, and good ones, this is serious for Colangelo and the Sixers, and it could cost someone their job. As always, you can check out the podcast below, listen and subscribe via iTunes at applepodcasts.com/PBT. Subscribe via the fantastic Stitcher app, check us out on Google Play, or check out the NBC Sports Podcast homepage and archive at Art19. Kevin Durant and the Golden State Warriors are heading to the NBA Finals once again to take on LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers. Now is probably the perfect time to unveil some high-profile marketing stuff for the guys on the teams, right? Well, maybe. According to NBC Bay Area, Durant has apparently partnered with Alaska Airlines as a consultant for at-risk youth programs in the Bay Area, which is pretty dang cool. Part of that partnership includes an image of Durant, arms outstretched, across the side of an Alaska plane. Via NBC Bay Area, more than 30 decal pieces spread out across 560 square feet of the 737-900 aircraft were slapped together to showcase a smiling, arms-stretched Durant decked out in a white basketball jersey. Durant's lengthy wingspan in real life stretches even more on the aircraft, extending 50 feet on both sides of the plane's fuselage. Then again, I'm not super sure putting Durant's image across a product that moves easily from city to city is the smartest marketing plan. Sort of opens you up to some pretty obvious meme opportunities, if you ask me. Game 1 of the finals is at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Thursday in Oakland. Isaiah Thomas played a total of 15 games for the Cleveland Cavaliers in the 2017-18 NBA season, a fact many of us may have blanked from our memories entirely. Indeed, the NBA has improved its reputation this year for producing the most quality, crazy stories of any major American sports league. Thus Thomas, his hip, and the massive trade that sent half of the Cavaliers roster elsewhere at the trade deadline feels distant, not only in time but in importance to the season itself. Thomas is a free agent this summer after spending the last half of the season with the Los Angeles Lakers, but that doesn't mean he doesn't have rooting interest as the NBA Finals get underway on Thursday night. The Cavaliers are meeting the Golden State Warriors in the finals yet again, and Thomas is clearly on Cleveland's side. Via Instagram, of course, the context here is that Thomas is eligible for a championship ring if the Cavaliers are able to pull off the upset of the Warriors over the next few weeks. We're a long way from seeing Cleveland win another ring over Golden State, and we don't know that the Cavaliers would even give Thomas a ring if they did win. NBA Twitter got jokes, though. Oakland, California. AP, Cleveland and Golden State were stressed and stretched to their limits in the conference finals this time around, leaving little time to recoup and prepare for their latest showdown in the NBA Finals. Splintered is how Stephen Curry described what he feared could happen in the second quarter of Game 7 at Houston, with the Warriors pushed to the brink by the Rockets. So, Golden State held a serious team chat and got it together at last. LeBron James willed his Cavaliers back to the big stage with another spectacular performance against Boston. It was a special moment for us. And I think one that we'll look back, if we get the job done over these next 2 weeks, where, again, as an appreciation of all that goes into winning a championship. Curry said Wednesday, and doing it by committee and making sure every guy, whether you're playing well or not, or things are going your way or not, that we all bring something to the fold that have gotten us to 4 straight finals. And we've done it by appreciating everybody that's a part of that group. I think that 2.5 minutes was a special moment for us, and it should give us great momentum going into the series. Now, James and the Cavs and Curry and the defending champions find themselves in familiar territory, facing off in a 4th straight NBA Finals, just with far less prep time after each team played furious Game 7s on the road to get back here. Cavs W's, Act 4 is a little bit different, indeed. Game 1 is Thursday night at Oracle Arena. James stands in the way of the Warriors' repeat, just as he did in spoiling that quest for Golden State and leading the Cavs to a championship 2 years ago with a Game 7 win on the Warriors' home court, where they have currently won 17 of the last 18 postseason games. James never counted out Golden State. Just going against the Warriors in the last 3 years in the finals, I kind of figured or thought that they could get it done, he said. Just because of the 18 of a possible 21 finals games that I've played against them in the last 3 years, I figured out that they could make it happen. Here are some things to watch for heading into the best-of-7 series. James shot. James isn't ready to make any bold predictions about how great he might be in his 8th straight finals. Yet the way he prepares, there's no doubt in his mind he will be ready when the ball tips. The level that I can play at is to be seen, but the level that I put into the game and put into my craft is who I am, James said. So numbers and things like that kind of take care of itself. But for me, I understand, and I know how much I put into the game. So everything else is okay, no rest for the weary, with only 2 days between games after the Warriors eliminated the Rockets 101-92 on Monday night. Draymond Green is happy to have an opponent in Cleveland he knows so well. In recent years, we've been kind of having a week off, at most, to prepare for the finals. It's almost a day to prepare this time, he said. So it definitely helps knowing the opponent, knowing, obviously, everything stops and starts with LeBron, and trying to do what we can to make things tough on him, but also take other guys out of the game. The Cavs finished their series Sunday at Boston, so James spent a relaxing Memorial Day Monday with family having a barbecue. Injury woes. Both teams face significant injury concerns. Golden State defensive stopper and 2015 Finals MVP Andre Iguodala was ruled out for Game 1 with a bone bruise in his left knee, while Cleveland's Kevin Love remains in the NBA's concussion protocol with his status uncertain. Golden State among greatest. James considers Golden State among the greatest teams ever, and insists each side has earned this. James is ignoring the critics who say this annual matchup might be bad for basketball. Teams have had their opportunities to beat the Cavs over the last 4 years, and teams have had opportunities to beat the Warriors over the last 4 years, James said. If you want to see somebody else in the postseason, then you've got to beat back M. More AP NBA, https://appnews.com/tag/NBA Basketball Associated Press. The NBA will hold its Africa exhibition game in the South African capital of Pretoria on August 4, the league said Thursday, with All-Stars DeMar DeRozan and Joel Embiid lined up to play. The announcement for this year's exhibition was made by NBA Vice President and Managing Director for Africa Amadou Gallo Fall in Johannesburg. The NBA has held 2 Africa Games previously, in 2015 and last year. They were both in Johannesburg, South Africa's biggest city and commercial hub, and pitted a team of American and international NBA stars against a team of NBA players from Africa, or with African heritage. This time, Team World and Team Africa will play at the 8,500-seat Sun Arena in Times Square as the NBA pushes out to a new city, albeit only about 40 miles up the highway from Johannesburg. The NBA confirmed DeRozan, who plays for the Toronto Raptors, will take part along with Dallas Mavericks forward Harrison Barnes and San Antonio Spurs forward Rudy Gay on the Team World roster. Embiid, who plays for the Philadelphia 76ers, will play for Team Africa along with Portland Trail Blazers forward Al-Farouq Aminu and Orlando Magic center Bismarck Biyombo. Embiid, who is from Cameroon, was a product of the NBA's Basketball Without Borders development camp in South Africa in 2011. The NBA has sought to capture a new market in Africa over recent years, and Commissioner Adam Silver made the trip to Johannesburg for the inaugural Africa Game in 2015. Then, Silver said the NBA was looking to hold a preseason and ultimately a regular season game in Africa. The NBA also opened an academy in Senegal last year, the first in Africa. Basketball is generally more popular in West Africa than South Africa, but South Africa's sports facilities, the best on the continent, have drawn the NBA to the country. 2 previous Africa Games in South Africa drew crowds of about 5,000 in 2015 and just over 7,000 last year.